Okay, so we're now back to our drawing that we originally utilised to create the DWS file. So if I go to the Layer Properties Manager here now, you can see that there's all our standard layering terminology, and if I scroll down towards the bottom now, you'll see there that there are the layers that I took out from the DWS file. So what I need to do now is I need to configure the DWS file to work with this drawing. So I go to the Manage tab here on the ribbon, and what I need to do now is go to the CAD Standards panel here, and I go to Configure. So I now need to associate a DWS file with this DWG file. I click on the plus sign here in the dialog box, Add Standards File. As you can see, I've preset that to go to our Drawings folder where we set up our O3 Creating Standards.dws. So I click there, click on Open, and that actually sets up the Creating Standards DWS file. Let's just check the settings here in the dialog box. Plugins, what does this mean? If I click on this tab, it checks Dimension Styles, Layers, Line Types and Text Styles for me. That's great, so let's go back to the Standards tab now. What about Check Standards? Well, that's the button I click on to actually run the check. So I don't want to do that just yet. What I do need to do is I need to click on Settings here. Now the notification settings are Display Standards Status Bar Icon. That's down at the bottom on the status bar down here. And it's a good idea to leave it on because it lets you know that this drawing has an associated DWS file. Check Standard Settings. You can automatically fix non-standard properties. My suggestion is don't switch that on. Show the ignored problems and change the standards to the standard layers manually. Now, you have a preferred standards file to use for replacements. If I click on the down arrow here, I don't have any right now because I haven't actually got a preferred standards file in my AutoCAD options. I've got the file that I've brought in here, the Creating Standards, O3 Creating Standards. So I click on OK, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run the check standards here. Click on the button and the dialog box appears. Now what it's doing now is it's checking those layer settings with the current layers on the drawing. So if we look now, it tells us layer points name is non-standard at the top. So read from the top to the bottom. So I need to find a layer that I want to put the points layer onto. I'm in essence renaming the layer. So if I scroll down the list here now, I should have some setting out somewhere. Let's have a look. I haven't got any setting out layers there at all. So what do I put my points layer on? Well, let's think about this. I have to look at this list and decide on which one I want to put on there. Or, look at the bottom here, mark this problem as ignored. I can ignore that and it tells me which user has ignored it. Now that is an important piece of information. That then creates a dialogue between CAD Draftsman and CAD Manager. If the CAD Draftsman ignores the problem, the name of that CAD Draftsman is there, the username, which means the CAD Manager can come back and check and say, okay, why didn't you sort out that particular layering convention problem? And your argument there would be, as a draftsman, well, there was no layer in the standards file for the layer points. So then I click on Next, Layer Walls. Well, we know there's a layer there. So let's scroll down. That'll come under ASTR for structural. And there's our walls layer there. So we change that. It tells us the color and the line weight, and I fix it. So as you can see, I'm fixing that. Landscaping, there is also a layer for landscaping. So let's scroll down and see where it is as we go through there. Is there a layer for landscaping? Let's check. Let's go back up again. I don't see a layer for landscaping. What I do see are some external layers for shrubs, setting out and driveway. So there isn't a layer for landscaping. So we mark the problem as ignored. That means that it leaves that layer in the drawing. We then go Next. Layer Pond. Do we have a layer for the pond? Do we have a landscaping layer for the pond? No, we don't. So again, we mark the problem as ignored and we go to the next one. Sprinklers. Do we have a layer there? Let's have a look. We don't have a layer for sprinklers either by the look of things, so we're going to have to ignore that one as well. So you can see how this standards file is working. If you've got a layer in the DWS file that you can use, you assign that to the layer that's got the problem here. So the layer shrubs is non-standard. We've got a layer for that. There it is there, A external shrubs. So I now fix that, and that's done. Now, I haven't actually finished the entire standard check yet. So let's keep going. Have we got trees? Let's scroll down the list. No, we haven't. So what we need to do there is mark it as ignored and go to the next problem. Tables. Do we have a tables layer? Again, we don't. So mark the problem as ignored and go to next. Layer text. Is there a text layer? Again, as we scroll down, no text layer. So we mark the problem as ignored and go to next. Standards check is complete. There were 9 problems found. 0 were fixed automatically because we didn't have that setting switched on. We manually fixed 2 and we ignored 7. So if I close that now, choose next to check this drawing. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to close it now because I'm finished. And I now go back to my Home tab and I go and look at my layers now. Let's scroll down and you'll see there that the shrubs layer has disappeared because we've utilised the new layer here, the shrubs layer there. And also as well, you'll notice the walls layer has disappeared. And if I scroll up, you'll see that we've got structural walls there. So as you can see, the layers have changed there and the new layers are in place. So that's what a DWS file does. You can check against a DWS file and make changes in your drawing.